Hello everyone. In this video, I will tell you about some systems to classify root canal morphology. The knowledge of root canal morphology is essential to achieve best results for the endodontically treated cases. And root canal morphology classification is important for documentation and ease of communication amongst practitioners. So let's start with Wien's classification. In 1969, Wien et al. Provided the first clinical classification of more than one canal system in a root. He used the mesiobuccal root of the first maxillary molar as the sample specimen, and Wien originally classified root canal morphology into three types. The type 4 was later added in 1982. The type 1 has a single canal extending from the pulp chamber to the apex. In type 2, two canals leave the pulp chamber and they merge to form a single canal short of the apex. So, in both type 1 and 2, there is a single canal at the apex. In type 3, two separate and distinct canals are seen from the pulp chamber to the apex. While in type 4, one canal is seen leaving the pulp chamber, but it divides into two separate and distinct canals before the apex. So, in type 3 and 4, there are two pulp canals at the apex, or you can say there are two apical foramen. Let's now go to the Vertucci's classification. It was proposed in 1974. Maxillary second premolar was used as the sample specimen while devising this classification. The roots were sectioned and the pulp cavities were stained using a dye, which revealed a canal anatomy that was much more complex than that was described by Wien. So in this classification, root canal morphology was classified into 8 types. In type 1, just like Wien's type 1, a single canal is seen from pulp chamber to the apex. In type 2, two separate canals leave the pulp chamber, but they merge to form a single canal short of the apex, just like Wien's type 2. In type 3, one canal leaves the pulp chamber and it divides into two smaller canals, which later merge again to exit through the apex as one canal. In type 4, two separate and distinct canals run from pulp chamber to the apex, just like Wien's type 3. And in type 5, single canal exits the pulp chamber, which divides into two canals before apex, just like Wien's type 4. In type 6, two separate canals leave the pulp chamber, they merge in the body of the root and they redivide short of the apex to exit as two distinct canals. In type 7, one canal leaves the pulp chamber, it divides and then rejoins in the body of the root and it finally redivides into two distinct canals short of the apex. So it starts as a single canal in the chamber and it exits at the apex via two apical foramen. In type 8, three separate and distinct canals extend from the pulp chamber to the apex. According to Vertucci, proximity of canal orifices to each other is indicative of whether they will join or remain as separate canals. So if the distance between two canal orifices is greater than 3 mm or greater than 3 millimeters, then the canals tend to remain separate. While if this distance is less than 3 millimeters, then the canals are usually joined together. And as the distance between the orifices decreases, the canals tend to join more coronally. Later, 14 new configurations were added by Sert and Bayerle after their study on a Turkish population. Let's now go to a newer classification given by Ahmed in the year 2020. This classification provides a single code for the tooth number, the number of roots, and the canal configuration. So far, this is the most accurate classification and it can also describe the previously unclassifiable root canal morphologies with a simple single code. So just remember, this classification consists of a single code. The main aim of this classification was to create a precise and easily applicable classification of root canal morphologies for the practitioners and researchers. The code in this classification consists of three components. The first one is tooth number, second, number of roots, and number of root canals and their morphology. As far as the tooth number is concerned, you may use any tooth numbering system. So, you may use Universal or FDI or Zsigmondy Palmer, it's your wish. But in this video, I'll be using FDI system. For the extracted tooth, you may use abbreviations. For example, for the upper canine, you may write UC. For lower central incisor, you may write LCI. The next part of the code, that is number of roots, is added as a superscript before the tooth number. So, in the formula that you see on the screen, R represents the number of roots and TN represents the tooth number. The next component, that is the root canal configuration in each root, is added after the tooth number. The description of each root canal configuration in each root is given according to its course from canal orifice at the pulp chamber to the apical foramen. So here you will see O, C and F written after the tooth number. So O here represents the orifice, C represents the canal configuration as it passes through the root, and F represents the ending of the canal at the apical foramen. Let's now solve some examples with this new classification so we get to know how to apply it. So let's see this first example. Here you can easily identify the tooth as the maxillary molar. Let's now say that this is the maxillary first molar. So according to the FDI classification, we can say it is 1, 6. Since it has three roots, mesiobuccal, distobuccal and palatal, we will write 3 before the tooth number in superscript. Let's now look at the mesiobuccal root. The mesiobuccal root has a single canal from pulp chamber to the apex. So we will write MB next to the tooth number and then 1 denoting the canal morphology in superscript. Next, we will write DB representing the distobuccal root. Now notice that the canal starts as a single canal at the pulp chamber. So we will write 1. Then it divides into 2. So we write 2 next to 1. The canal then unites into a single canal again. So we again write 1. And then the canal finally splits into 2 before the apical foramen. So we again write 2. And hence the code for distobuccal canal becomes 1, 2, 1, 2. Next is the palatal root. So we will write P representing the palatal canal. And as you can see, it has a single canal throughout. So we just write 1. So the entire formula will become 3 representing the number of roots, 1, 6 representing the tooth, MB representing the mesiobuccal root, 1, then DB, 1, 2, 1, 2, then P, 1. Let's now see one more example and let's keep the tooth same as 1, 6. So try to create the code for this tooth on your own, and once you are done, come back to the video. So pause the video now, create the code, come back and let's see what you have done. So let's see what the code of this tooth will look like. First, let's write the tooth number, that is 1, 6. Next, the number of roots, that is 3. Then MB, the mesiobuccal canal starts as a single canal, but it bifurcates before the apex. So the code for mesiobuccal canal will become 1, 2. Then next DB, and since it's a single canal throughout, we will just write 1 in superscript. Next P, and again it is a single canal throughout, so we will again write 1 in superscript. So the entire code becomes 3, 1, 6, MB, 1, 2, DB, 1, P, 1. I hope this much exercise was sufficient to understand this new classification. I will show you 2 more teeth, and what you have to do is try to find the code for these teeth and post your answer in the comment section, and let's see if this video was really helpful. So that's all for now. Hope this video was helpful, and if you do like this video, please like, comment and share. Thank you.